I am excited to announce the next speaker, Pandamander, who has a background in big game studio game design. Now they're doing indie development, working on a cozy roguelike deck builder called World's Goodest Pup, which you can wishlist on Steam. And they are going to be sharing with us how roguelikes play with our dopamine and why we like them so much. So go ahead and take it away, Pandamander.
Thanks so much, Haley. Hey, everyone. Hope everyone has been having an excellent celebration this weekend. The talks have been a lot of fun, so hoping I can follow up with something interesting. I would like to start this talk with a bold claim, which is that, in my belief, roguelikes are the best single-player gaming experience possible for your brain. A lot of people might disagree with this. I would like to make a case for why I believe that this is true. There's a few reasons that I will cover in this talk. One is optimal use of the brain's dopamine centers. That's a hot topic nowadays. People generally know this word. We're going to get into exactly how it works and why. Two, engaging system one and system two. This is part of psychology and behavioral psychology, and that works in quite well with roguelikes. And then three is ample out-of-book play, which is a concept that I hope every roguelike developer and player is aware of. And if not, we're going to talk about it right now. So why is this person talking to me? So I'm Pandamander. Thank you for the intro. I've been a game systems designer at companies like EA, Warner Brothers Games. Nowadays, I'm an indie developer on a cozy roguelike deck builder. That's kind of a mouthful, but it's a game about dog shows and dog competitions. And I want to start by talking about this first section. Roguelikes use dopamine centers of the brain in a very optimal way. Let me explain this. So how does dopamine actually work? People know this term nowadays. It's a neurotransmitter. People think of it as the neurotransmitter of pleasure, neurotransmitter of reward. That's not quite exactly how this works. This idea is about 30 years out of date due to some recent research that's happened in the past couple decades. There's a really great GDC talk from Ben Lewis Evans from Epic Games a couple years ago. If people want to dig deeper into this, then this talk is a follow-up. But dopamine is actually closer to being the neurotransmitter of motivation, drive, craving, and desire. It's kind of the drive that gets you somewhere, not necessarily the big explosion of confetti once you do arrive there. So let's talk a bit about how this works. And this may be a bit kind of psychology-y, geeky, but we'll tie this into roguelikes in just a second, I promise. So when you anticipate something that's rewarding, then dopamine levels start rising. And when the reward is received, when your brain gets what it's seeking, then levels drop back down to baseline. This could be ice cream, a big reward. It could be a coffee, having a big success in work, like something like that, something your brain is trying to get to. So I'm a big fan of Slay the Spire. Hopefully people have played that game. If not, I'll walk through it. But so Grand Finale is a card that's in Slay the Spire. It's a bit tricky to use. It's not selected very often. It really only works if you have a very small draw pile and a lot of card draw in your deck. And so a lot of times you might be playing along as you're going through a Slay the Spire run and thinking, this is kind of a useless card. I'm never really going to pick it or use it. But every once in a while, you might be going through your run and anticipating that, hey, I'm actually kind of getting some cards that play well with that. I might have a card called Acrobatics, which lets you draw more cards, get to an empty draw pile, which is something that's required to use it. And you might start anticipating this. And so if that's something that you're looking for and working towards, then this is the part where your brain starts to rise in dopamine. And then once in a blue moon, every once in a while, it all lines up. You get the right cards, you get a grand finale card, and then you get to do this incredible 50 damage to all enemies. It just feels like an amazing moment. It almost never happens. And this is something where afterwards it's over, then it's the kind of event that people will make YouTube videos about. On Twitch, they'll clip it, they'll show it. This will be like a big moment, and people talk about it for kind of the rest of their life. And the key distinction in this example is that this is the important part, this like build up right here. That is the fun part. It's not hitting the peak. The build up is actually the part that's kind of most enjoyable, that like pursuit. And another key piece of this is understanding that you can't build up forever. This trough is something that your brain has a built-in mechanism to kind of recover from these spikes. And so building in those troughs into the games that you're playing, the games that you're designing is also really important. So you can overdo it is an important thing. Your brain is really smart, so you can't just keep like stacking and stacking and stacking dopamine. So like in Magic games where you like get a rare drop, then you get another rare drop, then you get a mythical drop, then you get like all of these incredible drops, and at some point your brain is kind of like, wait a minute, this is a little suspicious. This is not this is not like these aren't really rare. These aren't really special moments. Mobile games tend to do this a lot. If anyone is making mobile games, no shade on mobile games. I've made a lot of mobile games in my day. But it is kind of something where your brain will actually adjust and your brain will say, wait a minute, I know what's going on. This is actually not exciting for me anymore. And so a key part of this is in games that are roguelikes that have these kind of rare drops, these special moments, you want to manage your dopamine levels through the highs and the lows. It improves motivation, it improves pleasure without actually leading to burnout, boredom, or depletion. And so it involves planning these troughs in a balanced way. So you want to kind of think more like the Eiffel Tower instead of that's in a backlit, calm Paris setting versus like Vegas, where it's just all on all the time. Your brain just kind of becomes tired of that. It all kind of starts to feel the same. And so some key things for making roguelikes around this are you want to keep rare moments actually rare. You want to allow time for building of anticipation. That's the fun part. And you want to allow for these lows and kind of relaxing moments. And if you don't, then it's going to get stale and you're going to get kind of bored. So let's talk about part two. So system one and system two. People may be familiar with these terms. What are they? So Daniel Kahneman was a foundational behavioral economist. He developed this theory about the two different types of thinking that our brain does. System one is fast, automatic, intuitive. Often it's subconscious. It kind of handles these like quick judgments and immediate reactions without deliberate analysis. And it happens without you really thinking about it. I'm going to do an example right now. So I'd like everyone to look at this person. I'm going to show you a picture and then tell me if you are able to look at this person without identifying who it is. Okay, are you able to look at this and not know that this is Keanu Reeves? If you've never seen him, maybe you can do it, but if you do see him, it's very hard. Here's another example. I'd like you to look at this and try to not identify what animal it is. It's kind of impossible. You can't really look at this and not know that this is a elephant. That's system one in place. In games, a lot of times this happens in more action-oriented games. You see something happening and you know it's immediately happening. You know that there's like a jump or a punch or a dash. Examples include like double jumping, instinctively blocking. A lot of action games, for example, rely a lot on training system one and kind of learning these things. But in roguelikes, system one also appears most obviously in action roguelikes. It's like dashing in Hades, moving to avoid danger, and Binding of Isaac. These are kind of these system one type reactions that are very pleasurable and they're kind of a lot of fun, give a lot of really good game feel. But system one also appears in a lot of the moment to moment gameplay. So even in these like slower paced or turn-based roguelikes, this is where you get people talking about like Slay the Spire is kind of chill sometimes. This is when you're going through and you're just automatically selecting the block cards. It's kind of this like trough of relaxation. You understand exactly how to work through this part and you're just kind of moving through and just clicking because you're so used to it. Maybe you're watching a YouTube video or something else while you're doing it. So this is a really enjoyable thing. So system two is different. System two is slow, it's deliberate, it's analytical, and it's also conscious. This is kind of what we think of when we think of like thinking really hard, concentrating. It's responsible for complex computations, logical reasoning, thoughtful decision making. And system two is good, but it takes a while. It can do a lot of different things, but it just kind of takes some time. And activities that use system two are things like solving a complex math problem, planning a trip, or evaluating a large investment. Like, is it worth it to spend $5,000 on a custom game table? Maybe you, like me, have considered this, trying to figure out if this is a good investment or not. That's using system two thinking. Yeah, I did not end up getting that. That would not be a wise choice for myself. So Anthony Giovannetti talks about system two in Slay the Spire. He says that card picking is what this game's all about. It's the choice that should be rich and interesting. And so for that game and for a lot of deck builders, for example, and a lot of when you're choosing upgrades and things like that and other roguelikes and figuring out your build, then that is that like slow, deliberate choice that really balances out the system one of these types of this play and makes it so that these are just very enjoyable. In Spelunky, for example, making choices about which type of risks are worth taking based on the run that you've done so far, or in Binding of Isaac, what are the items and things that you want to be picking up? These all require like deep thinking and deliberation. In my game, World's Good as Pup, then the breed that you select of your dog, if you're going with like a corgi versus a poodle, that affects the type of runs and the types of challenges that you want to go after and overcome. And so these are areas that show up in a lot of different roguelikes. And so for building really great and really satisfying experiences, then roguelike devs want to make sure that your game has a collection of both system one and system two. And you can lean one way or the other. It kind of depends on the subgenre that you're going after, but they're both possible and they're both important. Okay, so let's talk about out-of-book play. This is one of my favorite concepts. When I came across this a couple years ago, I was like, this has changed my view of games forever. So what is out-of-book? So out-of-book is a concept in competitive chess. And as a side note, we can debate this in the chat. Chess is technically a roguelike, according to the Berlin interpretation of roguelikes. I just want to point this out. It has permadeath, it's turn-based, it's grid-based, random environment generation as you move the pieces. So we can debate that afterwards on if people agree with that, but that's just a side note. So out of book. So chess games are really well documented. They originally, this was done in books. That's where the book and out of book comes from. And in chess, how it works is you have a chessboard, you start making moves, and the decision tree here starts branching exponentially. Someone moves a pawn, someone moves another pawn, someone moves a knight, someone might move another knight, someone moves a bishop. Then each of these is kind of like you're opening up into this possibility space of probabilities. For the first couple moves, the players are making what's called book moves. And this means that they're doing moves that have basically been done before, recorded in chess books and the historical chess competition record. And grandmasters in chess, they study these move sets. There's possible responses that are well known. There's a lot of study that has gone into these like opening moves. And a lot of training in chess initially is around the memorization of these opening in-book patterns. So like Ruy Lopez, the Italian game, Sicilian defense, you kind of know the answer, you know the sequence, because these are things that have been seen before, they've been studied, they're like a well-known part of the game. Someone makes that move and you know the best couple ways to respond. However, there's this special moment. It's usually around move 10 to move 15 in a chess game. Usually takes about 30 moves or so. But around move to 10, 15, it always happens, which is what makes it so incredible. It always happens where one of the players moves into a space where they make a move that has never been recorded. They do a move where there is no record of this exact sequence of moves ever happening before in any of the millions of chess games that have ever happened, because the possibility space is so large that you break into this every time. This is an amazing moment. And this is out of book. This is when you step out of the known world and you step into the infinite void. You're now in a place where no human has ever gone before. You're in this gameplay space that has never been encountered. And so the question is, how will you deal? What are you going to learn about yourself? When you remove memorization, when you remove scenarios that people are familiar with, that can be studied, all the advice that you've gotten, what's left? Like, how do you kind of deal with this? And luckily, your brain is ready for this. Your brain is a pattern matching machine. Human brains love applying what they have learned to novel situations, generalizing, extrapolating, thinking, feeling, kind of going on instinct. And the reason that I love roguelikes so much, and I think they are the ultimate genre, is because going out of book is the signature move of roguelike style games. There are so many other games where it's just one path, like everyone has kind of the same experience. Roguelikes are not like this. Every randomly generated map is a new novel experience. Each randomly generated cave and Noita is unique. Every situation or card draw in Balatro has a really low probability of occurring once you get to a certain point. And so every run is unique, it's memorable, it's personal. Every permadeath is very meaningful. And so this is your chance to know, after everything that you've been through, after all of your practice, after all of your understanding the game mechanics, what are kind of the choices that you're going to make? And as a game dev, this is really exciting, making sure that the games that we're making are allow these like out of book moments, that the design and the systems have enough combinatorial space to be able to expand, so that very frequently, similar to chess, then you open up into these spaces where no one's ever been before. You want to avoid strategies that are super dominating and can get 100% of the time, where you can just like kind of roll through, because that's the difference between games that last 50 hours and last 5,000 hours, is how much does it let you kind of break into this different space. And so I would like all of us roguelike game developers and players to remember, as you're making these games, as you're creating these incredible experiences, you're not just making and playing games, you are helping people to reach infinity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pandamander. That was amazing. I am looking to reaching deep space more often.